move this. Hey, it's live. Got to adjust something. Move this. That'll work. Oops. Alright, so I am going to do a fairly... let me fix this right here. Hey, what's up, Robert? I'm going to do a fairly quick live stream, and I'm going to have a snack while I'm here. I just got back from... let's see here. I just got back from my drill weekend. What's up, Jeremy? What's up, Finest Kid? Is that what it said? I can't remember, or I didn't really see it very well. But again, for like the 5th time in the stream already, I'm gonna do a fairly quick live stream. So you guys ask away all the questions that you want to ask. I just got back from drill. I am currently, if you can see this right now, I am currently trying to, well, you can't see it, it's way too white. Trying to upload a video, but it's like stuck on the publishing phase, and I was like, well, I was gonna wait until after the video went live to live stream, but we're just gonna work with it. I got today's push-up video gonna go up hopefully soon, but let me get this ready. I'm gonna have my snack. All right, how did the secret security clearance go? Maybe I shouldn't eat while I'm on live stream. Basically, your security clearance for like just a basic secret security clearance, not the top secret security clearance, all you really do is you go through like a little interview process with the guy. You fill out a whole bunch of questions. I believe you basically write down like some of your friends, like who are some of your friends, what are like some of the past addresses you've lived, some neighbors you have, stuff like that. So you fill out all these questions and you do like a really short interview. It's really not that bad at all. And then that's how you get your secret security clearance. I'm not sure what all the stuff is that they do on their side, but stop fast food. But like, you know, anyways. Running helps. I don't eat fast food. I mean, honestly, guys, I eat fast food every now and then. You know, maybe like a couple times a month, but it's really just like a convenience thing for me because I'm on the road all the time. So, plus I exercise plenty to kind of counteract that. But any tips before I leave November 13th? Yeah, physically train as much as possible. And there are a few of my videos I think are really helpful. Kind of things like how to be successful at basic training, being a good leader. Some do's and don'ts of basic training. I don't know if you've seen those videos, but I think those are really helpful. And my video just started processing, so my push-up video is probably about to go live in just a minute. But I still can't see your guys' question right now because it's not showing up for me. So I don't know what to do with that. It's kind of stupid. So basically what I'm doing right now is I really want to get like a webcam camera to do these videos or these live streams, because currently using my iPhone 8 and I can see the comments as soon as y'all ask your questions and stuff, so I can see them for like a few seconds and then it disappears. So I can't see anything right now, which sucks. Will you ever deploy to Afghan or Iraq? I'm sure I will, for like 100% sure. Currently I cannot deploy because I am a cadet. I am going to finish my, let me publish this. I am going to, basically once I finish all my training after I commission as an officer, I'll do that and then I can deploy, but I cannot deploy right now. And I just published my video. So, I still can't see your questions. This is kind of stupid. I can only see him for like 2 seconds. I'm sorry guys about this, but I cannot see my, like, this is really dumb right now. Really dumb. But it's literally not letting me pull up the video so I can see your comments. Can you bring watches in basic training? Any suggestions? Yes, you should definitely bring a watch to basic training. I suggest that you bring a watch to basic training. You need a watch at basic training because time and time hacks are so important. You definitely need that. All right, there's the live stream. Okay. So let's do this. But all you really need is a cheap watch. You don't need a super nice watch or anything. But now I can see your questions. And I see Destiny, you sent me a message on Instagram. I may or may not have read it yet. I've gotten a little bit behind because this past weekend was my drill weekend, so I got a little bit behind on my message and stuff, but I have replied to most of you guys. But anyways, what's the easiest way to lose weight? Basically, eat healthier, eat less, and exercise more. That's basically the formula. Yeah, that's why y'all were talking about stop fast food. Yeah, don't, like, if you're really trying to lose weight, don't eat fast food. I'm so behind on these comments right now. Can you talk about one station unit training or make a video and explain it, leaving for Fort Leonard Wood for 31 Bravo? So if you're doing one station unit training, what's up, Donald Trump? If you are doing one station unit training, the difference between that and basic training versus AIT is your basic and AIT is all together in one. So you're going to have the same drill sergeants, the same instructors that you're going to have the entire time through. So like example, infantry. So if you're doing infantry, the first 10 weeks of basic training or whatever, you're going to be in basic training. You're going to have really strict privileges. You're not really going to have any privileges at all. And then you're going to graduate from basic training. And then the day after basic training graduation, you're going to go back to the same barracks. You're going to be with the same people, with the same platoon, with the same instructors, drill sergeants, or whatever. You're going to be with the same people. And then you will begin the AIT portion of, you know, your one station unit training, basically. Then you'll get to have your phone. At the end of the day, you'll get to have a few more privileges, so you could call your family every night or whatever. You should get to go to the PX every now and then, but then you'll have some more privileges. What's the best way to mentally prepare? What works best for you? So there's two ways to mentally prepare, in my opinion. Number one, you're going to be mentally preparing for the knowledge, like some of the things that you should know, and I've talked about that a few times of some of the things that you should know before basic training. I don't want you guys to stress too much about, oh, I don't know a whole lot about this. I don't know a whole lot about this. I want you guys just to make sure you understand the basics, the rank structure. You should probably start learning Soldier's Creed, stuff like that. Land nav is pretty important. I did find my land nav maps, so that video is probably going to, my land nav video is probably going to go up next week. But yeah, so you're going to mentally prepare by knowledge, and then you need to mentally prepare because you are about to join the military. And the best way for me, in my opinion, on that is just to appreciate what you have now. Make sure your relationships are good with your family and everything like that, and just get in the mindset like the things you do now are going to be different. Kind of, you know, just a sense of appreciation for the moment that you're in right now, I think helps you mentally prepare for that side of things. So anyways, do I need a GED or a high school diploma to join the Army? Yes, you do. Alright, can you... Yeah, I can see the comments now. Alright, so... let's see here. Hey man, when does the military stop letting people join age? I'm 25. So basically the cutoff age for joining the military is 35. So if you're 25, you're plenty young. You're going to be totally fine. But the cutoff age is 35, and that is if you have no prior service in the military. So that includes Coast Guard, which Coast Guard... I'm not going to even talk about that, but which includes Coast Guard, the Navy, the Air Force, and the Marines. It doesn't include police officers or anything like that. But if you were in any of those branches before and then you got out, so let's say you were in the Air Force for 4 years and then you got out and then you're like 37 years old and you want to join back into the military and you want to join the Army, for example, well, those 4 years of military service are going to subtract from your age. So even though you're 37, you're going to subtract 4 years from that, and so the military is going to look at you as if you were 33, and you would be technically young enough to join the military, even though you're older than 35. So that's kind of how that works. But if you have no military experience whatsoever, 35 is the cutoff age. I know some people headed to basic at like 32, 33. Yeah. So there was a guy in my platoon. I think he was 34. There was another guy who was in his 30s and whatnot. Good morning. Is it morning for you? Is it morning for you? Really? What's the tattoo policy? Currently, the tattoo policy in the Army, I don't know if it's different for other branches. It may or may not be more strict or less strict. But currently, the tattoo policy for the Army is you basically can't have anything from the neck up or your wrist down. So basically where my Apple Watch is right here, if you have any tattoos on your wrist right here, your hand, your fingers, anything like that, or if you have any tattoos on your neck, on your ears, your face, whatever, you're not going to be able to join at that point. You can have tattoos on your chest, your back, your arms. You can have like a sleeve down to your wrist. That's totally fine. But you can't have anything that basically will be shown when you're wearing your uniform. That's basically the tattoo policy as of now. What used to happen whenever I first joined, the tattoo policy was basically you can't have a tattoo over that's bigger than your hand. So if you had a tattoo on your chest, it couldn't be bigger than your hand, right? So you couldn't have like a full-on chest tattoo. That's how it used to be. So anyways. You're going to Fort Jackson on October 30th. Man, a lot of you guys are leaving pretty late in the year. You're leaving pretty late in the year. It's going to be pretty cold. It's going to be pretty cold. We got 43 people watching right now, but only 12 thumbs up. Come on, guys. But yeah, it's going to be pretty cold. 25 Sierra. You're swearing in tomorrow at MEPS. That is awesome, dude. That is awesome. Congratulations. You got a waiver for an avocado allergy? Yeah, you should get waivers for stuff like that. Let me do this. I'm going to, there we go. Hey, there's like an avocado emoji that you can use. That's pretty cool. Hey, we've got 27 thumbs up now. Good job, guys. Good job hitting that thumbs up button. Good job. This live stream's not going to be too long. Basically, the reason that I'm going to do it a little bit shorter, like I said, I just got back from my drill for this weekend. I actually just uploaded my push-ups video, which I just recorded right before this, and uploaded it just now. But I got to hit the gym. I got to eat, and I got to hit the gym, and I'm really tired, so I'm not going to do this for a couple hours like I've done before. Is it hard to go active duty after being reserves? People say it's harder. It's literally a person basis. So like it's going to be easier switching from reserve to active, obviously, like if you were you know, in shape or whatever, but it's basically that. So hey man, what's up? You donating $5 like a freaking boss. So thank you for everything you do for us. Buy your Monster drinks. By the way, if you have a medical condition, you're not able to see MOS until after MEPS. So that's a good addition right there. So if you have a medical condition, you're not able to see the MOS until after MEPS. That's really interesting. I didn't ever have to worry about that, so that's really good that you said that. Thank you for contributing. Thanks for the super chat, dude. Like, you're freaking awesome. And I think I was messaging you on Instagram earlier too. So I hope I answered your question okay. And I got a lot of messages on Instagram right now, so I'm trying to catch up on them. Trying to catch up on the Instagram messages, but I will reply to every single person who messages me. So if I haven't messaged you back yet, I will talk to you. Don't worry about the length of the text or the message. Don't worry about it. That's totally fine with me. I will reply. I will answer to you the best of my ability. But anyways, what do you think about Nava the Beast? Nava the Beast, he's the Marines guy, right? I mean, I think he's pretty cool. I've seen like a couple of his videos just to see, because like a lot of you guys have mentioned him. I didn't ever see him before because I've only searched Army stuff before, so he never came up. But I mean, he seems pretty chill. So, by the way, I have my vlogs coming up. So I tomorrow, which is Monday, I have the first video that I recorded with this camera. Some of the stuff might be the settings. I was still working on them, but the first video with that camera is tomorrow, and then I recorded a vlog with it just to see what I could do. I think it turned out pretty good, so make sure you guys check that out on Tuesday. I'm gonna bump that upload up to Tuesday, so Monday will be the first video with that, and then Tuesday I'm gonna have a vlog, and then Wednesday I'm also doing my sit-ups video. So I've been like on the roll, guys. I don't know if you guys have noticed this, but I've kind of been on the roll recently with uploading videos. I'm just saying, I feel like I've been on the roll. I love the video you posted. It helped me out a lot. I'm definitely going to keep it up. Dr. E, definitely going to keep it up. Definitely. I have asthma, but I haven't had a huge episode since the 4th grade. I was 9 then. I'm a senior. I talked to my recruiter. He says that you can't have it at all now. Is this true? If he is a recruiter, I am not a recruiter. He has the most up-to-date information on things like that. If you can't get a waiver for asthma anymore, then you just can't. So if the recruiter told you, hey, you still have asthma, you can't join, like, there's not really much I can do about that. Just because if I were to say yes or no, that's totally false, like, that's not going to make a difference. But if you want a second opinion, you need to go and just talk to a different recruiter at a different station somewhere else. Go talk to a different recruiter. That's what I would say to you. So for any of you guys, if you're ever talking to a recruiter and he says something that you might want to question, you can ask me, but you can also just go and talk to a different recruiter at a different place. You don't want to just go to another dude at a different desk. You want to go to a different place and ask him the same question and tell him the same scenario. So anyways, that is my advice to you, because a lot of you guys do ask me questions. I try to answer everything to the best of my abilities, but I don't know everything, especially when you guys ask me questions about medical situations and stuff like that. Do I qualify for this MOS because if I have this medical issue? I honestly don't know those types of answers, because especially if it's not in the small realm of my certain knowledge. But anyways. What are you working out today, bro? Yeah, biceps. No, I'm just kidding. Since yesterday was my PT test, I haven't worked out my legs in about a week and a half or so. So I took a break this past week from working out my legs. So I'm definitely going to hit legs today because I need to hit my legs basically. So that's what I'm gonna do. And yesterday we had our PT test, and then today at drill they had me lead the PT this morning for all the people who had failed the PT test because I got the highest score for the PT test. So I had to do that, and I had everybody run. So I ran yesterday, I ran today, or at least this morning, and now I'll work out my legs and see how that goes. Did you hear about the Marines changing their PT uniform? No, I haven't heard about that. I've also seen stuff. I saw something yesterday or today about the Army bringing back World War II style ASU uniforms, like the whole brownish kind of thing where you'll have the sew-on patches on the side with your rank and stuff like that. So you'll have your rank and the unit sewn on your ASUs. I saw that. But things like that, like this whole new PT schedule or this whole new APFT that the Army is going to implement, or all the new uniforms and stuff like that, a lot of that is just talk at certain times, but Army pink and green's World War II. But yeah, a lot of that is talk, so you never really know with these things, because the military, the really high up guys like the generals and all those people who make the decisions, things go back and forth all the time. So this general will tell somebody like, hey, get a plan together to have new PT uniforms or whatever, and then they'll put together some kind of idea, and then it'll reach the news like, oh, the Marines are going to have new PT uniforms, and then it just doesn't happen. So you never know. Smoke weed every day. Don't do that. I mean, if you want to be good at cardio anyways, in my opinion. If you are Army Reserves, can you deploy? Did you deploy? I have not deployed yet. I technically have never been able to deploy, basically, because I did basic training. I did AIT shortly. About a year after that or so, I contracted as a cadet. And once you contract, it means you're about to be an officer, and you can't deploy while you're in training to be an officer. But in the Army Reserves, you can deploy. Currently, they are, I mean, technically right now, I would have deployed November 1st, because a lot of people from my unit are being selected to deploy and leave November 1st. So if I wasn't a cadet, they probably would have picked me to go and deploy. So that's kind of crazy thinking about that right now. But about a year and a half or so from now, I will finally be eligible to deploy, because I'll be done with all of my officer training. I'll be at my unit, and I will be looking to deploy at that point. Because if you're in the reserves, you can actually kind of request to go to different units. If you hear somebody's deploying, you're like, oh, this unit's deploying, can I transfer to them? And that's probably what I'm going to do. So as soon as I get done with my training, I might do a little bit of stuff, but I'll probably be in the military mindset after being in training for about a year, and then I'm going to go deploy. Because my plan, guys, I haven't talked too much about my actual career goals in this channel, but I'm hopefully going to, I mean, if I'll go to Ranger School next year, I'm very confident in that. So yeah, I really want to go to Ranger School, and then I'll be in that whole Huaness and go and request to deploy. So anyways, do a video on what you eat. I literally had somebody just ask me about that. Next month we're going to the range at my unit, and we're going to stay in some barracks and eat the DFAC and stuff like that. And I plan on getting some videos and stuff to show you guys the different meals and some of the things that you guys can expect. But I don't want to make a video on that like right now, because I don't want to just talk about the food. I want to actually show you guys what I'm talking about. So anyways. I had a surgery back in 2013 to remove a small piece of bone growth plate that had turned sideways and grew outward. I haven't had any issues with it since, so is that a no-no to the Army? If you've had some kind of surgery, you are going to have to, you know, disclose that. And that's just going to be up to the doctors for the most part, because you'll probably have to get a waiver for it. So Danson Rick has a bachelor's degree. If you want to become an officer, do they do a program where you do AIT and officer training in the same time after basic training? So yeah, that's called OCS. So if you have a bachelor's degree and you want to join the military as an officer, but you don't want to do ROTC, then you can do OCS, which is basically you go to basic training, and then right after basic training you go to OCS. You do not go to AIT, because AIT is where you learn your enlisted job, which you'll be trying to be an officer. So you'll go to basic training, and then you will go to OCS, which will be 12 weeks of officer candidate school, which is what OCS stands for. Well, they'll teach you a lot of the things that you need to know, and then after OCS you will get your branch and all that stuff, and you will then go to the BOLC, BOLC, where you learn your officer MOS, which is what I'll be going to next year. Do a video on what I eat in a day. I mean, I guess in the vlog that I did one thing, or actually I kind of did what I ate, because that just is a part of your day. So we'll see. Check out the video on Tuesday. Check out the video on Tuesday, and you'll see one thing that I eat for breakfast all the time. How'd you prep for boot camp? Basically, I didn't know how to prep mentally. I didn't know what to prepare for as far as that went. Like, I did the Future Soldier training online, and I did fine with that. But as far as how I prepped for basic training, I basically just prepped physically. I ran pretty much every day. I did a lot of push-ups, pull-ups. I worked out my core and stuff like that. So I was really, really physically fit for basic training whenever I left. I was a lot more cut than I am right now too. Do you think we'll go to war with Iran? I don't know. I don't think so. What does a normal day look like for a reservist? So yesterday I didn't record anything, or actually today I didn't record anything, but yesterday I actually recorded pretty much the whole day at drill. So I will be able to upload a video sometime at the end of next week or early the week after, of kind of like a little vlogish kind of style of a day at drill. So we did like a PT test and a few other things, which you're gonna have to watch. But it's not usually a whole lot of stuff. Like today, what did we do? So I got there this morning, and I led PT for a group of people. So I led PT, and then there's a certain amount of time where you have to shower and all that stuff. So after that, what did we do? We did some kind of classroom training stuff, and then, gosh, I already forgot what we did. One of the major things that we did today was I got a flu shot. There's this LHI, PHA stuff that you have to do in the military where all your medical records have to be up to date, and you got to get checkups and stuff like that, and you have to get a flu shot in the Army. And so today all these doctors and medical people came, and we spent probably a couple hours doing that. So, but I mean, there's just like a few things that you do, a couple classes. We had master resilience training today, which isn't really as what it sounds like, I guess. But I will have a video on what reserve drill is like next month whenever we go to drill, which will be at Fort Bragg. We're going to be there for 3 days. We're going to be not really in the field. We're not going to be in the field, actually. But we are going to be going to the range, so we're going to be shooting. We're going to shoot, I believe, the crew serve weapon. So we'll probably shoot the 249, the 240. I'm hoping that I will get to shoot the new M203 grenade launcher that they showed us. So yesterday, they showed us a new 203 grenade launcher. We got some new weapons in, and it looks pretty sweet. I got that in the video that you guys will see in that kind of like day in the life reserve vlog kind of thing. Anyways, do I feel sorry for the Marines because they get a crappy military budget? No. If anybody should feel sorry for anybody, it's the Air Force, because they have the best budget ever. They have the nicest barracks, the nicest food, the nicest everything. The nicest everything. I'm not sure. I think they were all pretty much the same. I recommended one of a lot reviewers. Some you will have to pay $150. I don't know what you were talking about. You might be replying to somebody else. Dylan Shambo, you forgot to ask your question? Come on, man. I should do a workout video and take the camera to the gym and PT. I would like to do that, but the gym that I go to currently is like super packed all the time. What I really want to do is whenever I go home for the weekend, which would have been today, but since I had, well, as in home, as in like my parents' house, and I'll work out with my brother. What I want to do, like if I'm going to do a gym video, like I don't want to bring this huge big tripod and like be like the center of attention, like, oh, I'm recording myself kind of thing. I'd be totally fine like if I had a workout partner with them recording different things and me showing you guys different workouts and stuff like that. That's something that will happen, but currently the gym I go to right now, it's like super packed, and it's like it's hard to do anything by yourself without sharing a machine with somebody, and I think it would be too much of a hassle at this moment. But there will be workout videos coming soon. Matt, why didn't I go to the Air Force? Because they didn't have the job that I wanted. Plus, I always wanted to be in the Army. Literally, there was no other branch that spiked my interest. I mean, I looked at the Air Force. You can't really pick your job. You can kind of pick the concentration area. So when you join the Air Force, you can kind of pick an area that you want a job, but you can't actually pick the job. And then I always wanted to be a soldier. I didn't want to be an airman. I didn't want to be a Marine. I didn't want to be a sailor, or a seaman is what they're called. I wanted to be a soldier. And so Army was the only decision for me. Have you seen the new or standard to get into the Army? I don't understand that question very much. My MOS in the reserves, Kyle, was 25 Bravo. Currently, I am a cadet, so I'm about to be an officer in commission this May, and I will find out my branch, which should be 25 Alpha, which is a signal officer, and that will be, I'll find that out in November. But anyways, what is the hardest part of military life for you personally? I mean, the hardest... Oh yeah, Cynthia's here. Okay, so the hardest part for military life personally, I've had probably about a year in total of active duty time and time I've been away, like, and then about 3 years in the reserves total. So the hardest thing, honestly, is just missing family events, missing family get-togethers. So like today, I missed some stuff with my family, and I can't. I mean, I can't do anything about it. I've missed birthdays. I've missed a lot of stuff. Just being in the reserves, you know, and I think that's just the hardest thing. It's just missing time with your family. When you're active duty, it's a much bigger deal. But if you're active duty stateside, it's honestly not that bad, because if you're active duty and you're not deployed, it's basically just like a normal job. You'll wake up, you'll go to PT at like 6:30, whatever, in the morning. You'll go home, you'll shower, then you'll show up to work at like 8 or 9 o'clock. Hey, Marcy. But anyways, so yeah, you'll go to work at like 8 or 9 o'clock, and then you'll get off of work at like 5 o'clock or so. So it's not that bad living the active duty military life. FaceTime is simple. Yeah, like FaceTime. Are friends jerks in the Army? No, like some of the, even for the short amount of time, like some of the greatest people I've ever met are in the Army, and it sucks that now they're in different places all around the world, like literally people that I've met, but I still keep in touch with a whole lot of people. But the best people I've ever met pretty much are in the Army. Was I ever 11 Bravo? No, I was not. Can you get into Green Berets? Green Berets Special Forces, that was something I wanted to do a long time ago, but I'm not going to do that now. And could I get into it? I guess I technically could, but have I seen the new physical training standard to get into the Army? So you got the OPAT. I don't know if you're talking about OPAT. Hey Matt, it's Riley and Callie and Riley and Bryson. Hey y'all. Hey Riley, Callie, Hallie, Callie, Riley, Bryson. Marcy Perry, for everybody in the stream, is my sister, and all those names are my nieces and nephews. So what's up, everybody? But anyways, I lost my train of thought. Marcy, you're getting me off my train of thought. Get me off my train of thought here. Why does everyone want 11 Bravo, including me? Basically, everybody wants 11 Bravo, which is infantry, because it's the hua thing to do. It's like, oh, I want to defend the country. I want to go kill ISIS and do all these other things, which a ton of other MOSs are going to have the opportunity to kill ISIS, like, or our enemies. You're gonna be able to blow up the enemy. You're gonna be able to do whatever the hell you want. You can shoot them. Like, you don't have to be infantry to actually shoot and kill somebody, right? You could be plenty of other MOSs. But infantry, you're just grunts, right? So you're kicking down doors, literally clearing buildings and stuff like that. And people think that infantry is like the most patriotic MOS to do. So that's why everybody wants to pick it. And then people don't stay infantry for long. All right. Everyone wants to be a grunt, yeah. America, 6 specialist. What's your rank? I'm currently a cadet, so my rank is a little bit confusing. I basically get paid as an E5. My CAC says E6, and then my uniform is a dot. So, where is my uniform? Let me show you guys this. Oops. So, my rank looks like this. This is what my rank looks like. As of now, it's a dot. It used to be, I used to be a specialist, and that stuff is somewhere else, but anyways. Can you reclass after one deployment as infantry? Basically, you can reclass to a different MOS as soon as your unit allows it. So, you may want to do it, but your MOS or your unit is not going to pay for you to be able to do that. There may not be a position for anywhere for you to go, because you can't, all these different companies and units, they have specific slots, right? They don't just have whoever. They have specific slots, specific jobs that people need to do and fill. So if you have a job that is this specific MOS and you want to switch to infantry, Well, if your unit doesn't allow that, if nowhere that you can transfer to allows that, then no, you can't do that. But if you can transfer to a different unit that wants or needs an 11 Bravo, and they are willing to pay for you to go to that school again, then you can do that. What's the procedure on becoming a Ranger? So there's 2 Rangers. There's the 75th Ranger Regiment, which is, like, in my opinion, the real Rangers, and then you have the Ranger School Rangers, which is what I plan on going to, and that is a school it's the most difficult school for the Army. But how you go about that is basically, if you're enlisting, you want to get an option 40 contract. You'll go to RASP and if you get selected, you'll be a Ranger. And then if you are already enlisted in the Army and you are a good soldier, with a very high PT score, with no issues or anything, and your unit wants to send you to Ranger to be in the 75th, then you can do that. But the process will literally be you asking your higher up, hey, I want to be a Ranger, I want to go to Ranger School, I want to be in the 75th Ranger Regiment, and you're going to work it out with them. So, anyways. Did you leave for a few days between basic and AIT at Fort Gordon? Yes, it was actually, I went home for 2 days or a day and a half or something after basic training when I got to AIT. This is not the case for everybody. You are probably not going to get to go home after basic training, but what happened was, and what might happen for some of you guys, is you'll go to basic training, then you'll go to AIT. And then for me, the first day we got to AIT, once we got done in processing and doing all that stuff, they gave us this paper and they were like, hey, if you live within 150 miles of the post and your family's here, and they can pick you up. And that's basically what happened. And I was like, what the heck, I can go home? And so it was a Friday night, and I went home Friday night, probably got home, my mom drove me, and I got home at like, I don't know, 2 in the morning or something like that. And then I had to come back home on Sunday. So I got home super early Saturday morning, and I had to go back and be back at about 6 p.m. on Sunday. And so if you live close to your AIT post and they allow you to go home, then you might be able to go home for a day. How does payment work? You will figure out all that when you talk to your recruiter. That whole enlistment, you'll get your direct deposit figured out. And the 1st and the 15th of every month, they will directly deposit money into your bank account. All right. Andy Rips, what can you have in your room when you're active duty Army? What are the rules if you know? So if you're talking about just like the barracks, like it might have been you that asked this question. I haven't replied to some of my comment chat. Again, I'm behind on that right now because I had drill this weekend. But whenever you get to your unit, when you get to your first duty station, wherever, like the rules on what you can have in your room is like just like an apartment. So like everything you would think of having in an apartment is what you can have in your barracks. So that's pretty much the answer. How old were you at basic? I literally turned 22 the day that I left for reception. And why does everyone hate MPs? I mean, it's like the same thing. Reason people don't like cops for some reason. Like, some of them are douchebags, and it kind of rubs off on everybody. All MPs are not terrible MPs, but the couple that are just makes the whole bunch seem bad. Which I have only had bad experiences with MPs, so that's a thing. Somebody asked me a question. Do you think Ranger School is harder than Special Forces selection? I think that those are two things that you can't really compare. Because it's just different. Non-military question. Do you watch Game of Thrones? Yes. Like, of course I watch Game of Thrones. This past season was freaking awesome. And I'm excited for next season, but I'm pretty sure I'll be gone in training when it comes out. What's your Instagram? I want to follow you. Instagram and Snapchat links are in the description. I think some of you have sent me messages and comment or stuff on there already. Marines or Army? Obviously Army, dude. Like, I'm literally in the Army. Scariest moment of basic training? So my scariest moment at basic training probably had to be the one and only time I got in really big trouble. And that was when I was pulling CQ duty, which I talked about in my one video, What's Fire Guard. I was pulling CQ duty downstairs. It was probably about 1 in the morning or something like that. And the thing when you're pulling CQ duty, you're going to have a radio, and the drill sergeant, who is also pulling an overnight shift at the barracks, he's going to have a radio. And he told me, he said, if you see anything suspicious, kids want to ask if you have any fun in the Army. Yes, of course, Marcy. Bryson, I don't know who asked that, but yeah, you have a ton of fun in the Army. You know. But anyways, what was my train of thought? So you have a radio. The drill sergeant's going to have a radio, and he told me, he said, if you see anything suspicious, radio me, okay? Well, I'm sitting down there in the CTA area, and this first sergeant and another drill sergeant is walking up. It's really late at night, can't really see, and I yelled at Ease because they entered the same area as me, and then I called him Sergeant. This is just like the whole story right now. So I called him Sergeant, but he was actually a first sergeant, but I couldn't tell because he was so dang far away, which kind of is stupid because I can't tell his rank from far away. I could only see that he's a sergeant. But anyways, and then he yells at me, and then he goes upstairs, right? He goes upstairs to the barracks and goes into my platoon's bay area, and I guess my drill sergeant wasn't awake or something like that, and my drill sergeant comes downstairs to the CQ area and is like super freaking pissed at me. Like, he is really mad, and he's a drill sergeant that he doesn't show his emotions that much. He doesn't actually get really that upset. He stays real calm, and he would smoke the crap out of us, and he would make us do all this crazy stuff, but he would never really get all that pissed, right? But he was pissed. He was really mad, and so I was like, oh my gosh, like, I freaking screwed up. And he comes down, and he was like, you know, why the heck didn't you radio me? Why didn't you tell me he was here? Why didn't you tell me all this stuff? And I was like, I didn't think it was suspicious. It was another sergeant walking by, you know? But anyways, yeah, that was the scariest moment for me. He was like super pissed at me. He came up and downstairs a few times to yell at me, and little did I know, upstairs they were smoking they woke everybody up in the middle of the night and was smoking everybody. And I had to do a couple extra hours of fire guard, so I was up from like 12 to, I don't know, 4 in the morning or something like that. It was ridiculous. On graduation, does your family have to pay the way there? Yes. What company was I in at basic? Charlie 247. So Charlie Company, 2nd Brigade, 47th Regiment, or whatever. Battalion. What sports do you play in the Army, and what sports does the Army have? Well, the Army has, you know, various sports, but I don't play any sports in the Army. If I did, it would be baseball, if that was possible. What do you know about joining the Delta Force, and can you join if you're in either Army or Marines? Yes, I actually know a little bit about joining Delta Force because I've talked to people who have attempted to join Delta Force and have gone through that selection process. But basically, no, you can't join Delta Force in the Marines because Delta Force is an Army thing. And then the process of joining Delta Force is you basically have to be in the 75th Ranger Regiment with a lot of deployment and like actual experience, like not just deployed, but like killing experience. And you have to be either Special Forces and again, experience. They do recruit people from other prestigious units like the 82nd Airborne and the 101st. So they do recruit people from that, but you have to have experience. You can't just like do SF and just finish your SF training and be like, oh, hey, I want to be freaking Delta Force. You have to have experience, and they will select you. You can, I guess, let people know like, hey, I want to go Delta Force or whatever. I'm not sure how that will actually work out, but the thing is they have to select you. Once they select you, you're going to go through all these interviews and stuff like that, like crazy interviews, because that's like a huge thing. And then you will go through the actual physical training of that. So you'll go through the actual physical selection and then the actual Delta Force training. So yeah. Matt, is there any boxing or grappling groups, gyms where you're stationed? No. This is, well, where I'm stationed is where I live, so I'm not stationed anywhere currently. This is off topic, but what would you do if you won the lottery? So, if I won the lottery, I would still work. Basically, I would invest a lot of it, I would save a lot of it, and I mean, I wouldn't really live much differently. If I won the lottery, I would buy a nice car, I would buy a nice computer, I would have nicer clothes and stuff like that. And let's say I won $1 million, I would probably save, I don't know, like after taxes, I won $1 million. I would save like, I don't know, 800,000 of that, put half of it in some kind of retirement fund, and then I would invest the other half, which would be about 400,000 or so, and I would invest that. And then whatever I would invest it into would kind of become my job kind of thing. That's what I would do, which would be super awesome, but I'm not going to win the lottery. That's not even possible. What am I wanting to do after the Army? What I'm doing right now is what I want to do after the Army, basically. But I plan on being in the Army for a long time, because the first chance I have to get out of the Army, I will have 9 years in the Army. So might as well retire, you know. What's airborne? Airborne is jumping out of planes. And so if you're airborne qualified, you are qualified to parachute out of a plane. What do you think about Cav Scouts? I think it's fine. It's another MOS that people do that are, it's either kind of like infantry or Cav Scouts. So they have a lot of experience and stuff like in the whole, that kind of realm of things. But Cav Scouts, I mean, I've heard good and bad things about them. I don't want to say like bad things about things if I've also heard good things about it, but I think it's a perfectly fine MOS. Can you take your watch to basic training over to Fort Benning? Yes, you cannot. This is another thing. You cannot take a smartwatch to basic training. So like my Apple Watch right here, if you have any kind of smartwatch, you cannot take that to basic training. You will not be allowed to have that. It just has to be a basic watch. How do I picture my retirement? A lot of traveling, a lot of awesomeness, and then also not retiring. So like whenever I retire, I'm probably not going to retire. I'm still going to be doing stuff. So I don't think, I mean, I'll probably have a period where I go and travel and do things and have just no care for whatsoever, but I'm doing the proper things and investing to where I'm not going to have to really worry about money whenever I turn 60. So where do I see myself or picture myself? Just having a blast. Can you do airborne and non-combat jobs? Yes. Yeah, you can go airborne in pretty much every MOS. Is it hard to become a pilot in the Army? It is hard to become a pilot in any branch of the military. It is one of the most strict things. It's very difficult. It's possible, but it's just one of the more difficult things to do if you compare it to anything else. Do they still have to do KP in basic training? What is KP? Not sure. Did I ever want to quit in basic training? No. I'd never wanted to quit. I 100% do not have a quitting personality at all. Quitting is something that never really crosses my mind at all during anything. Like, I guess you could say, like, things cross your mind as in, like, why the heck am I here right now? Like, why am I doing this? Like, this freaking sucks. And at basic training, sometimes you'll be, like, in these certain scenarios where you're just like, this is just horrible. But me thinking, man, I want to quit, never happened. Never happened. Active duty or reserves? Well, I am in the reserves, but if you're asking me which one is better, that is neither or both, because they're both good, they're both fine. It literally just depends on you and what you want to do in the Army and what you want to do in the civilian life and what you want to do after the Army. My uncle flew F-16s in the Air Force and died on a test flight back in the 90s. I am sorry to hear that, Dylan. I'm sorry to hear that. If I had to join another branch, what branch would I pick? If I had to join another branch, what branch would I pick? Air Force. Air Force. If I had to join another branch, it would be all right. So listing it in order, it would be Army, obviously, because I'm in the Army. Then I would pick Air Force. Then I would pick Marines, and then I would pick Navy. Nothing against the Navy. I just don't want to be on a ship for a long time. So, do I recommend bringing anything extra to basic training? I've talked about this before, and no, I don't recommend bringing anything extra to basic training. The only thing extra you should bring besides basically the clothes you're wearing is your phone charger, your wallet, and a watch, and you know, the shampoo and stuff like that. But that's basically all you need, and it's all you should bring. What's my overall opinion of the Army? It is one of the best things ever. That is my overall opinion of the Army. And I'm not just saying that. Active duty is awesome. And again, it just depends on what you want out of life. For me, I love it. For me, with the reserves, this is awesome for me. It's a perfect balance of things that I want to do with my life and everything. You can still get deployed. You can see combat. You can do all the stuff that you can do, basically active duty in the reserves, but you can also have a civilian career, which I wouldn't be as happy if I was active duty with no civilian career. Like I like my job on the civilian side. So, but as far as the Army goes, like the atmosphere, the camaraderie of the Army, like when you join the military, like it's just different, right? It's a different world, and there's like a connection between people where if I see another guy who's been to basic training, like we understand each other on some level, and there's that little thing that you have in common that you don't have with just some other random person that you met. Like even when you're out of the Army, like people who are older than me who've been out of the military, like you can connect with that person, and that's something that you don't get in the civilian world. Like it's so different, and it's like one of the literally coolest things about the military. And I get this question a lot, like what should I ask a recruiter when you go and talk to them? And the thing that I asked my recruiter is I told him, like honestly, I asked him, I was like, be totally honest with me, like what is your favorite thing about the Army? And he said camaraderie. And I mean, it's true, like the camaraderie, like you and your buddies, and like how close you are, because even if everything is sucking, you and your buddies are together, like having a good time. Well, not really having a good time, but like, you know, you got each other's back, and that feeling of having somebody having your back is awesome. So, what about Coast Guard? Coast Guard is actually, this is what I wasn't going to say before, but Coast Guard is actually not a branch of the military. There is the Marines, the Air Force, the Navy, and the Army. The Coast Guard is a separate entity. So anyways, embrace the suck. Yes. I don't know why it blocked that. I just hit show on that, but I don't know why it blocked that. But I'm probably going to cut the live stream off here, guys, or at least in a little bit. And if you haven't hit a thumbs up, you should probably hit the thumbs up. But I actually went on longer than I thought I was going to do. But yeah, I got to have time to go to the gym. I got to finish eating something. But this was a good live stream. This was good. You guys did awesome. 47 people still right now. 47 people. I feel bad for getting off, but I just uploaded my video on the push-ups. So if you haven't done any push-ups today, watch that video, do your own push-ups, and let me know in the comments what you actually got. And what are you guys saying? Why do people say don't date women in the military? I wouldn't be able to help being around women and not hit on them. People say don't date women in the military because it is so true, and from my experience, people cheat a lot in the military. It just happens. And that's the hard thing, is finding that person who you're not going to worry about. And yeah, like it's just more difficult. It's just more difficult. Like people, one of my buddies had a crazy experience with his fiance. He left for basic training, and when he got done with basic training, like he had some real bad news. I don't want to talk too much about it, but he had some real bad news. I've had other friends when you guys go to basic training, I don't know if you've ever heard of the Dear John letter, but the Dear John letter is like basically based off of the one book and now the movie with Channing Tatum and that one girl where he's in the military and he's deployed, and then his girlfriend sends him a letter to his name John, saying Dear John, basically breaking up with him. And when you guys go to basic training, you will see a lot of people get Dear John letters. It happens. It's going to happen. It may not happen to you, but it's really common. So that's why people say don't date people in the military. At least, like, don't date somebody not in the military and then have that carry over, because they don't know if they'll like it or not, and you don't really know how you're going to deal with that. But anyways, how do you cheat in the military? Just like you cheat in the real world. I mean, basically, like, Dear John, Jody, got to hear. Hopefully I get one of those letters. Hopefully I don't get... Yeah, I mean, it's okay to share the love. But anyways, check out my video tomorrow. I'm going to upload a video. I think I'm going to have a video probably almost every day next week. I got some big stuff planned, and I have a whole lot of things on my mind, like running and running and running. So I've been doing a whole lot of stuff, and the only way for me to pack it all in is to do a video like every day. So I got a video tomorrow, Tuesday, and Wednesday as of now. I think I also have another one on Friday already, but anyways, got videos coming up. Thank you guys for showing out. What did enlisted guys? What? Let me answer this one question. What do enlisted guys think of West Pointers compared to ROTC cadets? Honestly, I don't know. West Point is like a whole nother thing. It's like a whole nother thing compared to the ROTC. West Point is like you're already in the military, honestly. When am I going to go live again? Probably next Saturday. Did I cheat? No, I did not. Obviously, like, I'm just not a cheater. It's not going to happen. Thanks, Sheen Up. You're way better than Dr. Phil. That's funny. But anyways, thank you guys so much for coming out. If you want to hit that like button, that would be awesome. We got 62 already. That's really good for like just a 1 hour live stream. Again, thanks so much for coming out. I will see you guys tomorrow in my next video.